Today I'd like to show you how to draw a symmetrical design on Procreate and trace it to produce identical copies. Hi crafters! So we're sitting in the rain in Gladstone and I wanted to do a project that I've been wanting to do for ages, which is, this is a heart magnet. I bought 3 of them for $1 or 4 of them for $1 somewhere along the lines, and I've been wanting to make my mum a shamrock, so one here, one there and one there, and Mother's Day is coming up, so I figured what better time to do it than now. So I'm going to show you how I use my iPad and Procreate to create an identical pattern that I can trace onto each heart so that they're all exactly the same. The first thing I'm going to do is open up Procreate. I've just got a blank page here, and the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up here and I'm going to go into Canvas, the second one, and I'm going to press drawing guide, and I don't want this kind of grid, so what I'm going to do is edit drawing guide, and I'm going to press down here the symmetry button, and so when I do that it brings it up just half and half, which is exactly what I need for this project, and then I'm going to press done. Go back out of there. Maybe if I hold it off. It's close, but it's a little bit long here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to redraw that area. And then I'm going to take my rubber and I'm just going to rub that beard out. And then I make it a little bit bigger. Okay, it's close enough to work with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to design the inside of it. So I've got my basic shape, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a photo. So pressing on the spanner button up here, I'm going to then go from add, insert a photo, and that imports the photo, and I'll just pop it up there. So that's kind of the inspiration that I'm loving. And so now I'm going to go and make myself a new layer, just because that's away from the inserted image then. And the thing I need to do first is I need to click on it and I need to go drawing assist, and that what that does is it brings my symmetry onto this layer. So just going back and getting myself a pen instead of being on the rubber. I'm going to pick the fine tip, done, and make sure it's the biggest it can be and it's black. And then I'm just going to play around with the design that I'm working on. So I think what I'd like first is I'd like a bit of a border. Doesn't matter if it's a bit messy, because at the end of the day it's just for tracing. So we've got the border there. And then I can start thinking about the design here. So we could do a second border, because what the second border will be is this part here. If you ever want to go back on Procreate, all you have to do is tap 2 fingers. one day I might do a whole video on the things that I've already learned on Procreate and share them with you. Okay, so we've got our second border here, which is going to become this piece here. So then if I imagine that this is a solid piece and coming up here, let's get rid of that top bit that I think it's a little bit thick. And then coming down, that's that. So I'm going to change from this side to that side, because if I'm working here, I want to come on this line and come as close as I can. So if I come up here, and then I want to kind of come down towards this area, somewhere up here, come back up. Are we touching in the middle? Yes, probably. It's fine. And then we want to come back up here towards this area. And then from there, we want to join in the middle. And then if I imagine that it's not just a single line, it's double, all I've got to do is follow, and it's okay if it gets a little bit thinner. Alright, and that's the basis. So I'm just looking at it to see whether I like it and if there's any changes I want to make. Maybe I could take this line and bring it down further. That means that one would go more like that. And then we need to get a rubber. Just remove a few of these areas. Looking a little blocky, so I'm going to remove more than I thought. Go back to my pen, and then I think I actually want to come down and touch this. Take the rubber again to smooth out those areas. So I'm just alternating between the rubber and the pencil until I get the desired look. Alright, pretty happy with that. I think that's really cute. So let's just do a little bit more work here. And then what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to go back to my layer, and I'm going to turn off the assisted drawing, because now I want to do this and I can only do it no, never mind. I'm going to put the assisted layer back on. I'm going to, yes, I've got my rubber, and then I'm going to, okay, so these bits are clear and overs. These are overs. That's an under. That's an under. This is an over. Alright, and now it's a good time to turn off the assisted layer. So I'll go up to the layer, I'll press on it, and I'll take that assisted layer off. And so now this is the only bit that I can't do when it's drawing symmetrically. And I'm on my rubber, and all I want to do is just take that part out. Okay, and then when you see that, it's more like a Celtic knot now. Alright, so that's the basis of what I want to do, and using gold pens and green paint, I want to be able to try and create this on here. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to be able to get this really nice detail, but I'll definitely try. So the next thing I need to do is take some baking paper, and I'm going to lock my screen. And if you're not sure how to do that, I'm going to show you. So the next thing I want to do is I want to trace it, and I can't actually trace it right now because it's moving all over the place. Like if I was to lean on that, you see how annoying it kind of moves too much. And so there is a way of locking your iPad screen, and I'm going to show you how that is. So I'm going to come out of here, and I'm going to go straight into this is my settings, and I'm going to go to accessibility just here. I'm going to go to touch, and I'm going to make sure that assistive touch is off. And so if I go back to accessibility, scroll right down to guided access, I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to make sure that that is ticked on. When the accessibility shortcut is also on, when you triple click the top button during a guided access, it'll pop up with the way to lock this screen. So now that I've made sure that these are on, I'm going to come back out, and I'm going to go wherever my Procreate is, back into Procreate. And because it's an iPad, the button's up here. I'm going to click this 3 times really fast. 1, 2, 3. And that's brought up the accessibility shortcuts. I'm going to press on guided access. And I'm going to click into it again. Previously I put a password, and I've just made it all zeros just for ease. And so that's brought up this screen where it shrinks it a little bit. So I'm going to go into options, and I'm going to turn every single one of these off and press resume. And now you find that you can't actually move that screen at all. So I should have really made sure that it was the right size before I did that, which I didn't, which is a good learning experience for all of us. So I'm going to double click this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go back into guided access with my pin number. I'm going to go back to options, and I'm going to turn them back on. Resume. Okay, so I'm just going to shrink it a little bit, and then I'm going to see if it's the right size. So it's a little bit hard to see, but I don't mind having a little bit of an extra border. So if it's slightly smaller than this heart, I'll be pleased. Let's go here and slide sideways. I think that's a really good size for what I'm going to do. And so now I want to lock the screen on that size. So I triple click this again. 1, 2, 3. Press guided access. Put that in. Options. Turn them all off. Resume. Alright, and it's now locked the screen for me, which is perfect because I am now going to tape my piece of baking paper to the iPad. Alright, now I'm going to trace it. that sticky tape is not working well. I don't know whether it's just the humidity where I am, which is disgustingly wet. So I'm going to just try and hold that paper where it needs to be as I trace around it carefully. So I'm just going to pop it onto my heart, position it as well as I can. Okay, I think that's very close. I'm going to have to like be a bit neater. Just really hot right now. It's driving me nuts. I'm going to hold it here and here. Alex?
Yeah?
One day we're going to have a house with aircon.
Yes, open the window, man.
I can't.
Why not?
Because if I let go.
Easy.
Yeah. Crafting. Do you want to go have a shower? Okay, how are you? Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. So what that has done is given me just a basic outline of where I can start painting. And I'll do that with all three after I've had a shower, because it's just about to drip sweat on us. So I'll have to trace that 2 more times because I won't be able to reuse that. I mean, I could try, but I don't think reusing it would really work that well. Maybe there wouldn't be enough pencil left on it. I think I'm just going to skip the whole outline altogether and just make it green and just make this part of it pop. I think it's going to be lovely. There we go, super cute. I'm really happy with that. Now I'll be able to carefully paint it and put some gold highlights, and when it's got 3 together, it's going to look great. So they will go like this on the fridge and look like a little shamrock. I'm just going to double check that I can't reuse the same one, save myself some time. Out there. Let's check. Oh, you know what? I think it works. Instead of drawing on it like that, you can actually just use the back of the pencil, and that might be much better. Let's hold it there. It's pretty good. I might just a little bit more here. I think that's good enough. Mum's gonna love these. These little magnets I'm making for her. so there we go. I'm going to trace over them a little bit darker before I start painting, but I'm not going to do that now because I cannot handle the sweat moustache any longer. Gonna go take a shower and go to bed. Good night, guys. Grab that one.
Oh, you good, my glove?
Yep.
Alright, alright. Oh, I left my phone there. I should take it. Cold.
Don't often show you the boat, but here she is. We're in Gladstone, just waiting for, I don't know, a rest, the right winds, a nice hot shower. Captain in his undies. You sex beast.
Hello, crafters.